Make your witness.
You know, I wasn't surprised. It was disappointing, but nevertheless, far from surprising, very, very predictable. Anytime he gets, former President Trump gets a tough question, it's nasty. What I caution the black community to take heed to is when we sit up there and we utilize that as a form to bring up his racist tendencies or what have you. You got to be careful about that, because he did the same thing to Caitlin Collins, who doesn't happen to be black, from CNN. He called her nasty. He said her questions were nasty when she challenged him. He's done that on many, many occasions. It doesn't matter whether you're white, black, or Asian American or whomever. If he's averse to the kind of questions that you're asking him and he feels a bit too challenged and not received in a proper manner, as you articulated earlier, he's going to accuse you of being rude. He's going to accuse you of being nasty and what have you. And the only reason I bring up that point about us as black Americans being careful about stuff like that is because the minute we go out there and say, look at how he spoke to the black journalist, you're going to have supporters showing up and showing how he spoke to a white male, a white female, an Asian American, a Latino or 100%. A Latina, et cetera, to point out those things. And then that dilutes the case against him in that regard. Let's just call it what it is. It's immature, it's unpresidential, it's divisive, it's the kind of thing, it's the kind of reasons a lot of us don't want him to be the next president of the United States, because we know we're in desperate need of this country galvanizing and coming together, and he doesn't seem to be a galvanizing force.
So, Stephen A., what is the play in your mind to question whether or not Harris is black? Does he think he was going to separate her from the black community and give himself a fair chance? Is he really just dog whistling or signaling to his MAGA folk that this biracial thing is just more of this crazy lefty stuff where now people are two things? What was his play?
I think it was the latter. I think it was dog whistling. Make no mistake about it, because he wants to cater to his base. He knows they're not going anywhere, but he wants to show them that he's still that guy they voted for in 2016 and they voted for in 2020 that was in the lead in 6 of the 7 polls before Biden decided to step aside. He wants to make sure that he's showing them in the presence of others he's not going to deviate from who they know him to be. He's going to be somebody that can be insulting, petulant, immature, and with a penchant, if not a proclivity, flat out proclivity of getting in his own way. And this is one of those situations. You go to the National Association for Black Journalism Conference, which is where I'll be tomorrow, and my show First Take on ESPN will be there Friday morning. You go to a place like that, you know what kind of audience you're expecting to run into. It was no surprise to him, but it was an opportunity because they couldn't work out a time for Vice President Kamala Harris to show up. So he had it to himself. And I thought he was being a bit slick by showing up today at 12 noon Central Time anyway, because as a black journalist, as somebody that has gone to the NABJ on many, many occasions, let me assure you, most people ain't showing up by 12 noon on a Wednesday. You want a packed house where everybody is there waiting for you. You usually show up on a Thursday or beyond. To show up on a 12 noon on a Wednesday afternoon, it was like he was hoping to slide in and slide out without running into too many folks. And so I thought it was very, very slick on his part. But Rachel Scott, who is a sensational reporter for ABC, does a magnificent job. I thought she set the tone right because she didn't speak about herself. It wasn't personal or anything like that. She said, hey, a lot of people weren't comfortable with you coming here. That was true. A lot of people were not comfortable with him coming in. And then she brought up a litany of things he uttered out of his mouth, and evidently quoting him accurately is something he deems rude and insulting. But again, it should not be a surprise. We should have seen that coming. I don't know anybody who's surprised. I sincerely hope your audience is not.
Here's why, just one of the reasons that you love me as a friend, but you know I'm a dope, is I thought after the assassination attempt, he was going to pivot and he was going to use it as an opportunity. I've never seen anybody blow an opportunity the way he did at the RNC, other than those first 20 minutes. But he talked so long and so ugly afterwards that I forgot what he said in the first 20. This one was another opportunity. Times are tough in big cities. Times are tough in all kinds of minority pockets. They can't be happy with the leadership that they've had. There is an opportunity. Do you believe he just blew it and this is a major moment?
I think it's a major moment. I think he blew it with a lot of blacks, but there are some people that are Trump supporters who happen to be black, and I don't think they're going anywhere.
Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.